High achievers were never the problem. The system was. I teach top earners how to invest in real estate without banks, no loans, no 20% down, no credit gatekeepers. Because when you control the asset, you control your future.
All right, we're going to do this again. So my name is Idris Talib. I'm the Pretty House Guy. Tonight, what I want to talk with you about is how can you invest in real estate without any banks whatsoever? One of the things that I've heard from so many people is that they're trying to save for a down payment. They're trying to wait till they get their credit to where it needs to be. And in the meantime, you're just staying put. You're not able to do anything. I'm going to go with some strategies that you can utilize despite how much money you have, despite what your credit is. You're never going to have to go into debt. You're never going to have to go fill out a bank application. As a matter of fact, the only thing that you need is what all of us have right here, which is a cell phone. That's the only thing that you're going to need. So with that being said, let me give you the strategies that I utilize. The strategies that I utilize are a lease with an option to buy, buying a house subject to the existing financing, seller financing, rental arbitrage, and then profit sharing. So each of these methods are tools in my toolkit. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is tonight I'll share my screen with you, and I'm going to go online and I'm going to show you how do I go about utilizing these strategies depending on what house I'm looking at, okay? So I don't do any rehabs whatsoever. I'm not interested in doing any rehabs. I'm not even really interested in doing any quote wholesaler. Now, if something falls in my lap, yes, I will wholesale it, but I'm not out actually marketing for deep discounted properties. That's not what I'm looking to do. If we look at the real estate market right now, especially we're in 2026, right now the real estate market in most of the country has transitioned from a seller's market down to a buyer's market. So these sellers who have these extremely high prices, they're not able to sell their house. A lot of them, they're either going to have to come down on their price or there's going to be a lot of expired listings. They're not going to get what they want. Now, here's the opportunity as an investor. The opportunity is that you can give these homeowners the price if they're flexible with the terms. And because of the economic environment we're in, we're still a relatively high interest rate environment. You still have all these people who can't qualify for financing. This is the perfect opportunity to utilize some of these strategies. And the best part, you can get started immediately. All right, so let me share my screen with you. All right, let me see. I'm going to select the tab. We're going to share. All right, no, not there. All right. Okay, wrong screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen, and let's go to Zillow. All right. Are y'all even see my, oh, that's the wrong screen. I don't want y'all seeing that screen. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna figure out how to go to the next screen. Let's go to remove. All right, let's try this again. Stop screen. All right, so now let me try to share the screen again. All right, share. All right, here we go. So right here, we're on Zillow, okay? So now, let me tell you what my goal is with real estate. My goal is I want to be able to make money off of every single house that I see. Now, I target off-market properties. So these are properties that are not listed with the real estate agents. But I will give you a caveat to that, and I'm going to share that with you a little bit later, all right? So whether someone is looking to sell their house or they're looking to rent their house by owner, I want to talk with them, all right? So let's start off with for rent, and I'm going to share with you why. So we're going to go to rent. and I'm in Atlanta. All right. So you can see there are 11,370. So I need to go to home type. I'm only looking for houses. I don't want no apartments, condos, townhomes, none of that whatsoever. Let's go to apply. Now, beds and baths. I want a bread and butter house. So it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Okay. Now, you see, there's still 917 rentals available. That's a lot. So what I'm going to do is I am going to filter this. Keywords. Okay. All right, let's see if that gets it down. So it gets it down to 380, okay, which is quite substantial. That's still a lot. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to target certain areas. Actually, these are all the areas that I look for, as a matter of fact. But that's a lot of houses, okay? So now, you see some of these houses are very expensive. It's probably from the last search I have, because I don't have no limits on price. And as a matter of fact, I do houses that are this expensive. Let's see what this one is. 30327. Okay, that's near our other house. This is in Sandy Springs and Chastain. You know what? I think I know this house. But nonetheless, so let's just say this house right here. What in the world would I do with a house that's $16,999? It's too late to call them, so I don't really care about all of this or whatever. So this is through a real estate agent, okay? So they're managing this property for someone. So more than likely, you see it's been on Zillow for 106 days. So more than likely with a property like this, what I would do is the strategy I would utilize is profit sharing. And one of the things that my business partner and I do is we do luxury co-living, okay? So with luxury co-living, we would look at a possible house like this. As a matter of fact, this may be a house. Yeah, I'm actually going to contact this person in real life, as a matter of fact. Let's see. Even though our client does prefer more modern build, because this is this is an older looking house. He's not going to want this. We got a player from the Commanders looking to move on Tuesday. They didn't make the play. No, this house is too old. He's not going to want this. But this is still a beautiful home. So let me share with you basically what profit sharing is, how I would even go about this whole conversation. Okay. So the first thing that I would do is I would contact this agent. Okay. And then I'll let the agent know that, myself, as well as my business partner, we specialize in helping people who have luxury homes, especially if they're absentee owners, okay? Because right now, if this house is not rented out and if there's a mortgage, that is a huge payment. That's a huge obligation. That's a huge liability that the owner has. This is what you call a non-performing asset. So if they have an asset, it's not performing because there's no income. And if there's a mortgage, that mortgage has to be paid. And on a house that's nice, that's a huge mortgage, more than likely. Now, from my perspective, the value that I bring to them is that I turn non-performing assets into income-producing assets. This is what we specialize in doing. Almost all of our clients are corporate. We have a lot of corporate clients, and that's what we work with, placing them into homes just like this. Now, we are not going to sign a lease to where we're guaranteeing this $16,999 per month. That's too much risk on us. So instead of doing rental arbitrage to where we'll lease it for $17,000 and then mark it up and take a spread. It's too much risk. So we do profit sharing. And basically what profit sharing is that all of the money that comes in, we take our percentage off the top. Now, not the expenses, off the top. Then the rest of the money goes to the homeowner. Now, for that, we do all of the work. We oversee everything whatsoever. We find the person that's going to be in there. We ensure that all the payments are going to be made on time. And then while that person's in there, more than likely, we're going to have a house like this cleaned twice a week. Make sure the lawn is in impeccable condition. Right now, all the leaves are blown. Make sure we have somebody every single week come out, blow all the leaves. If there's a swimming pool and it's not covered up, we have a pool person come out and clean up the swimming pool. As a matter of fact, the house I'm in right now, where you actually see me, this is a $5.6 million house. This house is about 17,000 square feet. This house, we usually do between $30,000 and $35,000 every single month. This particular, we have another house around the corner. That house is about 3.2 million. We do about 18,000, 20,000 a month off that house. Set up the same way. And we're responsible. We just take care of every single thing, and oversee. So now it's purely passive for the owner of the house. So that's how we'll go about, a house, like this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna contact them anyway. Let's go. Yep. So request on the Zillow application. Send message. All right. So now let's go back to the search. All right. So we got this house, 30327 Sandy Springs. All right, let's go down. I'm gonna show y'all a cheaper house or whatever, and I'm gonna let you know what strategy I will use with that. All right, so let's just, I'm just gonna filter it by, where's the filter in that? Okay, I got an easier way to filter it. Let's just do max. Let's just put the max at 2,600. Apply. All right, so, dang, that's a good price. So check out a house like this, okay? So a house like this is in Southwest Atlanta. So a house like this, my strategy would be different. So my strategy for a house like this would be rental arbitrage, okay? And basically what rental arbitrage is that because this is a 6-bedroom house. So on the disposition side, I'm thinking I'm going to do shared living with this, co-living. Some people call it group home. I don't do group homes, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. So what I would do with this is I would pay the $2,260 a month because it's not a lot of risk. This has 6 bedrooms. I know this area very well, very well. This is actually my favorite area to do shared living for affordable housing, as a matter of fact. Okay. So now right here, I would give them the $2,260. And then each room we would furnish, and then we would rent those rooms out. Okay. Now I know this neighborhood very well. So over here for the owner's suite, The room with the, we call it master. We don't say master bedroom anymore, so we call it the owner suite. It has its own bathroom in it. I know I can probably get about $1,200. Depending on the other rooms, because this is in Atlanta, I can probably do, depending on the size of it now, I can do anywhere between $800 to maybe $1,000. Now, I will tell you the way that I furnish these houses, because they look so nice, I am able to charge more money than most people. Now, I know some individuals, they do double room occupancy. I don't really do that too much. I just prefer not to. I actually prefer people who work rather than people who have guaranteed income. That's my preference. But nonetheless, let's just do some quick math right here, okay? Let's just say you're able to get 4 bedrooms at $800, all right? So 4 times 8 is 32. You ever get 1,200 for the master, 32, 44. So now we're at 44. And then you're able to get, let's say, 1,000 for the 6 bedroom. 44. So now you got $5,400. So you got $5,400, and let's just say 5,400. Let's just say all expenses may be, let's say $1,000. So now we're down to 4,400, and now you just subtract the 2,260 from that. Give me a second. 44. Let me do 4. So that's $2,140. $2,140, from this property. Okay. Now, let's just say we do have a vacancy. It's okay. And the thing is, I know about this area. This area it has older working class homes that are in a nice area. There's no, the crime is very low. There's no gang banging, no people soliciting, no one's selling drugs and everything. This right here is the cash flow portion, of my portfolio. The other house that I showed you that was $17,000, that fits the cash flow portion, of my portfolio. So now, if I wanted to make some lump sums. So a lot of people, they like, I want to make $50,000, $80,000. That's when they get into like the fix and flips. What if I could show you how you can get a rehab profit without doing a rehab or without borrowing money? And let me show you what I mean by that. So let's go back to the search. So for a house like that, we'll look for a house that's for sale. All right. Let's go sell. No. Actually, it's as if I'm looking to buy. All right. So we'll go for sale. We want price. It don't matter what the price is. We'll do 3-2. I want for sale. Home type. I only want houses. And then more. I only want houses by owner. I don't want anything listed. I don't want no foreclosures. I don't want no pre-foreclosures. I don't want no coming soon. I want houses that are for sale by owner. So you see, there's only 8 results right here. All right. So now let me remove this boundary. All right. So let me draw. So for me, I would look for stuff. I ain't going all the way up to Beaufort. That's too much. All right, so let's just do this right here. All right, so we have 144 results. All right. So now what I would do is I actually prefer more expensive houses. However, this will work for any price point. So this house right here is $430,000. It's a 5.3. It's in Powder Springs. That's why it's only $430, because a house like this somewhere else would be a lot more expensive. All right. So what I would do with this individual is I will come all the way down, and then they should have their phone number up here. All right, hold on. Here, okay, so Judith, here's the phone number right here. All right. So the first thing that I do is I don't actually call them up. And the reason why I don't actually call them up, most people don't answer their phone for phone numbers that they don't recognize. Okay. So that means I have to leave a voicemail. And then if she's anything like me, I don't check my voicemail. My voicemail has to be almost full, and then I'll finally check it or whatever. All right. So instead, I send them a text message, because text message is something like, have like a 90-95% open rate, something like that. All right. So the exact message that I'll send her, I'll say, hey, my name is Idris. I saw your house on Enclave Court in Powder Springs on Zillow. Is it still available? By the way, I'm not a realtor. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get a response. So my next thing is, once they have responded to me to let me know that the house is still available, I'm not about to have a bunch of messages through text messages. I don't want that, because it's hard to build rapport. And then what they're doing is they're judging you. You know what I mean? Like they have the power or whatever. I don't want to get into that. So what I'll do is, my next thing is say, when can we have like maybe a 10-minute phone call? So my goal is to get on the phone with them and say, well, no, just text or whatever. I'll just say something like, well, I'm in my car right now. I can't really text and drive. But I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get them on the phone. Okay. And some people you're not gonna be able to get on the phone. It is what it is. All right. So with that being said, once I get them on the phone, let me kind of go over the flow of the conversation. The first thing that I want to do is just build rapport, just get them talking or whatever. So I'll just say, hey, it's great talking to you. Can you tell me a little bit about the house? And then, of course, they're going to probably say, well, didn't you read the ad? So, yeah, I read the ad. I read about 50 ads. Can you tell me specifically about your particular property? And normally, once you say that, they'll start talking about it. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I don't care what they say about this house, because I'm not living in it. I could care less. But it's an easy way to get somebody talking and everything. Now, some people you got to cut off, because they're going to go on and on and on and everything. All right. So my next thing that I say is, wow, this sounds like a beautiful home. Why are you looking to sell your house? So do you hear my voice inflection and how I went about asking the question? That I'm really curious. I don't want them to feel like they're being interrogated. Wow, this sounds like a beautiful house. Why would you consider selling? So really, I'm asking, why are you selling? I want to know, what is their motivation? People only sell houses for 2 reasons: either need or greed. And when I say need, mainly it's some type of a financial circumstance in which, they need to sell their house. Maybe they had a job transfer, like maybe this is in Atlanta, say Powder Springs. Maybe they got a wonderful job opportunity in Colorado, and they don't want to have, 2 housing payments and everything. That might be one of the reasons. Another thing could be maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they got married and everything, and them and their new spouse, they want to move into another house. Another thing, it could be maybe they inherited property. It's different reasons like that. Or when I say greed, I don't mean like they're greedy like in a negative manner. What I mean is maybe they originally bought this house for $100,000, and now it's worth $430,000. They're ready to cash out. It's gone up significantly, and they're ready to cash out. So and that kind of tells me, okay, how's my conversation going to go based off of whether they fit into the need category or the greed category, because I'm trying to structure my offer. All right. So now the next thing that I'll say is, how long have you been trying to sell your house? Now, if it's been a significant amount of time, I'll just kind of question. I'll say, have you been getting a lot of offers? Because this is a beautiful home. And if they haven't been getting a lot of offers, basically we all know what that means. The house is overpriced. They have it priced too high. Or it's, I don't know, it's some funky, some messed up stuff on the inside or whatever. But typically these houses, they're in pretty good condition. Because I don't look at houses to where you have to do any type of a major type of renovations, anything that's other than cosmetic or whatever. All right. So then the next thing that I want to know is, what is their time frame? The way that I ask that is, because we ask me, what's your time frame? Most people, oh, I'm good whenever I get my friend. No, you're not. Well, some people are, but most people aren't, okay? So the way that I try to figure that out is how motivated they are. I ask them a question. So let me ask you a question. What's more of a priority for you? You getting the price that you're asking for or a quick sale? And then that's going to give me an indication. If someone says, like, I got to have the money and I'm going to wait out until then or whatever, then I know, money is their motivator. Or maybe somebody, look, man, the quicker I can sell it, the better. So that's somebody to where their back may be against the wall because there's something at a certain date that's going on that's increasing. It's really increasing like their desperation. Okay. Now, with that being said, because of the market that we're in right now, I'll start, getting into, what happens if you don't sell your house by that date? What are you going to do? I just shut up. And what happens is, I know there's only 5 things you can do with a house. For sale by owner, which you're trying to do, listed with a real estate agent. So I think the stat is like 80% of for sale by owners aren't able to sell. It's like an 87% failure rate they end up listing. Okay. Listed with a real estate agent. The third is they can rent it out themselves. The fourth is they can rent it out with a property manager. Or the fifth is if they can't afford the house, give it back to the bank. There's nothing else you can do with a house. And what I'll do is I'll kind of bring up those different scenarios. And I want them to feel like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then by the time we get to the 5th one, they ran out of options. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're not able to sell this house and say you don't want to rent it out to anyone and you definitely don't want to give it back to the bank, what are you going to do? Just shut up. I know I got it. I say, well, you know what? I don't know if this will work for you or not or whatever, but what if there's a way to ensure that you're able to get that price that you're looking for? What if we can actually give you even more money than that? Is that something that you and I can, spend a few minutes talking about? And so what I'll do is now I got it. All right. So then what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, before we put the cart before the horse or whatever, I'll tell you what, when would you be able to invite me over to the house so I can walk around and take a look at it? Because now I have them kind of feeding out the palm of my hand because they want to know, how in the world am I going to be able to offer them even more money than what they're asking for? They're intrigued. They're curious. Okay. And I use that as, I guess, a chain or whatever to allow me to meet them at the house. And then when I go through the house or whatever, we'll go through the numbers or whatever, because I can actually offer them, I can show them how they can get $500-some thousand for this house easily. And then, I go on enough of those apartments, I'm gonna put some on a contract, guaranteed. But the way that I'm going to do it is using one of these creative strategies. Either seller financing, a lease with option to buy, or it's probably not going to be subject to. It's probably going to be a lease with option to buy or some type of seller financing. That's probably going to be, the vehicles that I use. Okay. Now on the disposition side, with houses like this, nice houses and nice neighborhoods, especially if they're in pretty good school districts, what I'll do is, it depends on how I acquire it, I'm probably going to sell the house with seller financing or a lease option. And the way that I'm going to be able to attract these individuals, I'm going to run, I'll run ads. I'll run ads, whether they're free or actually, I've never really paid for ads, but I am going to start doing that or whatever. I'll just run an ad that says good credit, bad credit, no credit at all. Rent to own your home in this award-winning school district, and I'll get flooded with people. And then from there, kind of do your due diligence with those individuals, invite all of them out or whatever, have them all come. I do like group showings. I don't do anything where it's individual. I'm not going to keep coming out there showing you a house. So I want to get a group of people together, and that kind of builds up, competition for it and everything. And then, based off of that, it's kind of going to dictate, what my specific exit strategy is going to be. And that's pretty much a high-level overview of how we're able to do all of this creative real estate with no bank financing whatsoever. So I know some people, what they do is they'll start offering the seller of the house, like give them some money. I don't put money down on houses I don't live in. I'll give them $10. That's it. I do not. They say, well, we need some earnest. So I said, look, Mr. and Mrs. Such, I'm not living in this house. I said, let me ask you a question. If you list this house with a real estate agent, how much money is the agent going to give you to be able to help you sell your property? Zero, right? Now, I'm not a licensed agent. I'm not. However, I'm not living in your home. I will put somebody to come into this home. And if you need any money from that or whatever, we're going to get it from that person. Are you okay with that? If you're not okay with it, then this is not going to work. And some will, some won't. So what? You just move on to the next one. Don't put yourself in a bind because somebody else wants something, especially in a major city like Atlanta. There's 6 million people in Atlanta. There's probably over 2 million houses in Atlanta. I'm not worried about this house. I have somewhere to stay. And that's kind of my mentality. There's no emotion whatsoever. I don't care. It's not my house. I'm not trying to live in it. That's the only house I get emotional. I don't really get emotional over that. But that'll be the only type of house I get emotional about is the one that I live in. As a matter of fact, this is a great way of being able to get a house for yourself. I've never had a mortgage a day in my life. I've been in real estate for over 23 years. Is utilizing these creative strategies. And what's going to happen is you're going to start meeting so many people who are in tough situations, and you're going to be able to help them. And the most beautiful thing about real estate is that the margins are so high. See some around here. So this is a charge on a cell phone. This what? $20, $30. Well, this is an Apple. Sometimes you're trying to jack you for like $40 or whatever. We're not selling stuff for $40. We're not even selling anything for $400 or $4,000 or $40,000. We're talking about $400,000, and that's why I like expensive houses, because the margins, even though the margins may not be like what you'll get from rehabbing a house, like the 30%, 70% ARV, which is a 30% margin, which is anybody doing that these days, not in Atlanta. But still, off of an $800,000 house or whatever, even if you're only getting a 2% margin, that's $16,000. You're not overseeing any contractors whatsoever. There's no timelines or anything whatsoever. You can get in and out almost immediately, and you can create spreads for yourself. The more expensive the house is, the larger the potential spread is. So those are some things, for you to think about. So any house that I come in contact with, I can figure out a way to make money without having to go to the bank. I'd be happy to have great credit and plenty of cash, knock yourself out. I still won't do it. Let me tell you why. I'm not sinking 20% into a house. And the reason being is because, people talk about equity. It's great. but it's not guaranteed. It's not doing anything for you. Now, of course, you can get a HELOC on it, but you still have to apply for it. Let me give y'all a scenario. Okay, let's just say that life is good for you. Life is going great until it's not. Let's just say that something happens to one of your parents, and you need to move to where your parents are, okay? So I'm in Atlanta. Let's just hype this up. My father, he actually is in Cleveland. So let's just say Cleveland, Ohio, okay? And let's just say that, I have to stop working so I can go take care of my father, right? So I do that, and then, I don't have any income. I have an 800 credit score, though. So my credit is impeccable, whatever. So since I don't have any income, I run through all my savings. I max out my credit cards. I take some money out of my 401k or whatever. I'm running out of money. But guess what, y'all? I got a house that's on free and clear. So I go to my bank and, I need to get, a line of credit. What percentage of my equity do you think I'm gonna be able to get? 0. So if I own this house free and clear, it's worth $430,000. Why am I not going to be able to get any of my money out? I've done what I was supposed to do. I made those payments on time. I doubled down and made extra payments to get this house on free and clear. The bank is happy. Well, the reason why I don't have access to any capital is because in order to get out equity, you have to apply for it. That's your money. You got to apply for your money when you really need it, and now you don't have access to it because that lender is going to require. Now you got the credit, you got the 800 credit score. You don't have no income. How you going to pay back that loan? You're not going to be able to. So you'll get denied. Is that a position of strength or weakness? And I can go all into it or whatever of how you can still have a house on free and clear, but you have access to that equity, the amount that would be that equity at any time whatsoever. But that's for another type of a conversation. So really what I want to do, especially this year, is help people kind of increase their financial intelligence, because the old way of doing things is not working for us. I'm 45 years old. I went to school for engineering. All of my colleagues in college make between 100, 250,000 plus. A lot of them, they're scared to death of retirement. They've saved enough money. So let's say you make $250,000 and you go by the 4% rule. You need to save $6.25 million just to maintain your standard of living. $6.25 million. All while, so we're in that sandwich generation. We may have Asian parents who we may need to provide assistance for, and then we have children that we're still providing assistance for. And we're the ones who made it. We're doing well. We made good money and everything. So everyone comes to us. Get student loans to take care of. Got these high interest rates right now. We're in a high inflationary environment right now. Inflation's gone up. We've done everything we're supposed to do. We made the good grades. We got the good job. We worked real hard. We got the promotions. We started a business. But it doesn't seem as if it's enough. And what does Wall Street tell us to do? Keep saving, keep saving. Oh, you know what? The market's down. That means you got to double down. Fortunately, the stock market's been doing very well. For a while, actually. But it's still not enough. So let me ask y'all a question. Do you think it's easier to save $6.25 million or create $20,000 a month in cash flow because they're equivalent to each other. Cash flow. Here's the most beautiful thing about the cash flow. Because even if you save the 6.25 million, it ain't doing nothing for you right now. That cash flow is. You can't touch that money in your retirement account without penalty to 59.5. And then when you pull the money out, you're taxed at your tax bracket unless you're in a Roth account. You never pay taxes on that money. So while your money is growing, so is the amount that you pay the government. And let me tell you what's so crazy about this. Let's just say you got plenty of money. You don't even need to touch the money in your 401k. They make it mandatory to pull it out or you pay a penalty. It's called RMDs, required minimum distributions at 70.5. Uncle Sam, they gonna get it. Hey, it's time for us to get our money. If you do not pay it, it's a 50% penalty. So you start taking out those distributions so you can give Uncle Sam their portion. So there's more efficient ways of being able to reach your financial goals, and you can compact the amount of time. We're living in the AI world right now. Everything moves really fast. It moves really fast and everything. You know, they say good things come to those who wait. Good luck with that. Stuff's going to be gone before you know it. So now where we are, we have to think differently. So instead, especially when you start getting in your 40s and 50s, you're not going to be able to rely on compound interest because compound interest is based off time, a large time period. We're running out of time. We need the velocity of money. And, you know, I'll talk more about that, you know, later on. I can go on and on and on about this and everything. But anyway, let me see if, I don't even know if anybody's up here right now. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let's see. Oh, wow, I got some people up here. Y'all hanging out late at night. Well, I'm on the East Coast, so it may not be late wherever you are. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Or you know what? I don't even think I can see the chat. Because I'm streaming. Oh, I got some comments. Wow. All right, let's check this out. Okay, got Tommy, Dylan, Benny Franklin, Derek, Monique. Okay. Hey, what's up, Tom? As a matter of fact, well, I probably won't even go there, whatever. But nonetheless, so let's talk about investing for a second. Let's talk about investing for a second. So one of the things that I think about, especially when we start talking about like the velocity of money, okay? You know, people come to me sometimes and say, I have $5,000. I may have $10,000. You know, I want to get into real estate. There's really not too much you can do with real estate. Actually, I do know something you can do with it, but let's take that off the table right now. So one of the things that I kind of think about is, okay, if I have $5,000, what would I do with $5,000 if I was trying to improve my financial position? You know what I would do? Let me tell y'all what I would do. I would find somebody who has an amazing product or service with extremely high margins who sucks at marketing. That's what I would do. I'm going to tell y'all, one of the greatest dollar for dollar investments to me, is my opinion. Actually, it's not even an opinion. We can run the numbers or whatever. Is Facebook ads, YouTube ads, paid traffic. Reason being is because you can scale in to your positions and everything. So in the very beginning or whatever, if I'm running a campaign, I'm not just putting $5,000 into a campaign because we have to test. And depending on your traffic sources, the margins, how much everything is or whatever, you can start testing as low as $10 a day. You $10 a day, and then maybe you generate some sales, and then based off that, whatever, okay, so I generate some sales or whatever, you start figuring out, okay, what are my margins, all right? And then based off of those margins or whatever, I can maybe increase it to maybe, let's just make the math easy. Let's just hypothetically say, if I spend $10 a day, I'm selling a product for, let's just do $100. That makes math very easy. That's a 10x multiple, okay? So I spend $10 a day, and let's just say it takes me 2 days before I generate my first sale of $100. So that's $20 to make $100. So that's a 5x multiple, right? All right. So the next thing I'll do, so now I have $100, because remember, your cost basis is $20. That's how much money you've actually put into this campaign. That's your cost basis. $20, I made 100. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So I have a 5x multiplier and everything. All right. So check this out. So now, I made $100. So, okay, feeling pretty good. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test $20 a day, because it took me $20 to get that $100 sale. So now we do $20 a day. Okay, I do $20. Oh, I got another sale for $100 again. All right. So now, and here's the best part about it. The money that I'm putting into these campaigns is coming off of the money that was generated. So I still have my $5,000 minus my $20. So I got $4,980. And then once I really optimize those campaigns, I can just start throwing money at it, because the money becomes gasoline. And the gasoline is what's going to grow until you hit your law of diminishing returns. And then once you hit your law of diminishing returns and everything, you still probably want to throw money at it or whatever. You're not, so from a marginal perspective, it's not going to be, it's not going to grow exponentially like this. It's going to flatten out a little bit, but you're still going to make more money. If that makes sense. It's how you fill many of your vacancies. Do you run ads, Linda? Because I was thinking about actually starting to run ads. I was just going to do some tests. I just never had to run any paid ads to be able to do that. Okay, I got you, Tommy. Actually, Don called me. I need to call him back. He called me a little while ago. But yeah, so those are some of the things. See, that's kind of how I think about investing in everything. I think about, okay, where are you at right now? What are you good at? And then what do you have the opportunity to do? So, some people, you don't have any money whatsoever. I say, okay, that's fine or whatever. If you don't have any money, the best way to come out of that situation is to sell something. And here's another thing that I love doing as well is I like brokering. So basically here's the most beautiful part about that is with brokering, all you're doing is you're like a matchmaker. Somebody needs something and somebody has something, and you put them together and you're that person. You don't need any inventory whatsoever. The only thing you need to do is, it's going to take some hustle. That's it. Let me tell y'all how I make money in real estate. All right. So a lot of y'all know my story. Went to prison, got out, and had nothing. I had nothing. My mom gave me $300. I had to make it work. Let me tell you what I did. So I did have a car though. One of the corrections officers let me drive their car. So I needed some money. So what I did was I went to the staffing agency, and it's basically you work and then you get paid the same day. I said, okay, I need some money. So anyway, I went to the staffing agency and I asked, they said, be here like 5, 6 in the morning. So I came and I was filling out my application and I asked the people, how much money do y'all make? They said, oh, you make about $55. I said, you work the whole day and make $55? I said, nah, that ain't gonna work for me. So anyway, I just had to think, how can I make some money? So I had to put my thinking cap on. So what I ended up doing was, I learned from real estate, I used to pay somebody to put out bandit signs. All right. I used to pay them $2 per sign. So what I did was I was in Columbia, South Carolina. I had to stay there 6 months before I came back to Atlanta. I called every single bandit sign and I asked, I said, how much do you pay your person to put out signs? The going rate was $2 again. So what I did was I ended up undercutting the market. I said, I'll tell you what, give me $50 gas money. I'll do it for $1 a sign. I need a minimum 200 signs. I made $1,000 in 3 days. So now I had a little bit of liquidity. All right. So from there, I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. I ended up making $8,000 in 3 weeks doing this. Let me share my screen with y'all again. Plus, all right, share screen. All right, I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I did. Go back to search. All right, so we want houses for rent. All right, so now we have houses for rent, home type. I only want houses. Apply. Now with these, I'm gonna do more affordable houses. So for my price, I'm gonna put, I'll probably put probably 2,000 to about 4,000 a month. All right, so I'm doing $2,000 to $4,000 a month or whatever. All right. All right, we'll just go with this. It don't matter. So what I'll do is, I mean, we could pick any house. I don't care. Let's just say this one, for example. All right. So what I'll do is I will text this person. All right. And this is exactly what I text them. I'll say, I'm looking for a long-term lease of at least 2 years. Is this something that you'll be open to? Then they'll say yes or no. And then I'll say, assuming all of my payments come in on time, would you consider selling to me at the end of that term? What have I just described, y'all? A lease with an option to buy. That's the fastest way, in my opinion, to get a house with no money whatsoever. Just say, I'm looking for a long-term lease of at least 2 years or more. And assuming all my payments on time, would you consider selling? And if they say yes, you know they're open to it. And then from there, you know, there's some, negotiation stuff that you have to do. But yeah, that's what I did. And then within 3 weeks, I was able to make $8,000 and I never looked back. Now, if I want to do some stuff, I'll probably do stuff a little bit different, but you have your tenants paying your ass, how you structure. I need to get with you on that. I like how that sounds. But anyway, the only thing I'm trying to get people to do is just kind of think creatively. But let me tell y'all something else that that I actually do advocate for people. All right. So, and let's just do some math. I like to do math. So let's just do some math, okay? Let's just say that you are one of these high achievers. You make great money, you make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. You haven't saved enough money for retirement. You know, you have a lot of debt. You just can't put away enough money to be where you need to be based off of where you are right now, all right? And let's just say that you don't necessarily want to rely on the stock market because, you know, the stock market can be cyclical, all right? So with that being said, do real estate, right? Okay. What I would advocate for someone to do, and I'm gonna do the math on also, I would actually tell you, do not buy real estate unless you're getting somebody a deep discount and it's instant equity. Don't pay market value for anything, get a mortgage for it. And let me tell you why. So let's just hypothetically say that you can find a house in Atlanta that's $300,000, all right? And let's just say that someone is going to, rent it out for cash flow, you know? By the time you pay that mortgage, you're only gonna be cash flow maybe $200-300. Not only that, since it's not your primary residence, you're gonna put 20% down. So it's $60,000 you put down. Your mortgage is $240. Interest rate's probably gonna be somewhere around 7%. PITI, by the time you rent that bad boy out, you're lucky if you net $200-300. And don't let there be no cost of repair. It's gonna wipe out all the money you made for the whole year, right? Now, instead, what you can do though is, if you want to increase your cash flow, and let's just hypothetically say it's a 4-bedroom house, what you can do is you can set up for co-living, where you rent out the room. Each room is set up like an apartment, all right? So from that, conservatively speaking, you should net about net after all expenses, about $1,500, all right? So now, the $1,500 sounds pretty good, right? So you got $1,500 times 12 months, which is $18,000. $18,000 divided by $60,000 is a 30% ROI, which is great. 30%. Now, I'm telling you, don't buy the house, though, even though you're getting 30%. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to share with you what the velocity of money is, all right? So for that same $60,000, you can control 8 houses if you do rental arbitrage. If you're pulling $1,500 off of every house, that's $12,000 of cash flow net. That's $144,000 in a year net. Imagine how much debt you can pay down. You can truly maximize your 401k. You can do a lot of stuff with that money. That's going to accelerate you being able to put yourself in a stronger financial position. Maybe you do want to own real estate. You have $144,000 of cash. You can get you about 3-4 sub-twos off that. So that's why I'm a big advocate of putting your money always to play. I see now people, you can take private money, you can do new construction, you can do this. Yeah, and those are great. Those are great. And there could be, instant equity with that. This is my only problem with stuff like that. What if the market turns? Because remember, everybody's doing that with Airbnb. Y'all remember that after the pandemic or right before the pandemic? That's what they were doing. I'm going to go off, I'm going to put all this money, and then I'm going to do Airbnb. It worked very well for a while. Now look what it's done. You have people stuck, especially if you got in at a high interest rate. You're stuck at that high interest rate based off of projected cash flow of Airbnb being constant. With this business model, people are always going to need safe, clean, affordable housing until the end of time. So, I can just go on and on about different stuff, but getting kind of late. So I'll tell y'all what, I'm about to go ahead and end the stream. If y'all have any, I'll take any, if anybody got any questions, feel free to ask any questions. Matter of fact, hey, Tim, I was in Wilson earlier this week. I picked my daughters up in Charlotte, and then we drove to see my mom and my brother. And we came back down to Atlanta. I got to drop the girls off in Charlotte tomorrow. All right, anyway, so I don't think there's any more questions. So if y'all have anything after this, just drop them down. Just drop them down in the comments, wherever. I'll be going live. I told myself 2026. So it's something that I'm not good at. I can't say I'm not good at, I just don't do it. But okay, yeah, that's cool. It's just been more disciplined in terms of, Happy New Year, Joyce. It's been more disciplined in terms of, just talking about different stuff, because one of my buddies, he's always challenging me. He said, man, you got all this knowledge in your head. Don't nobody know what you know. I said, okay, cool. So I said, I know I'm rambling right now. So, oh, word, okay. Yeah, I know I'm rambling right now, but, I'm trying to, master this whole thing or whatever. So, because I'm going live on YouTube and just Facebook right now. TikTok, Instagram, I don't really get much from that. Okay, yeah, Happy New Year to you, Don. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, that's the plan. Hey, man, so I'm going to tell you what I used to do back in the day. What I used to do back in the day, I would go live and not understand brokers. Okay, Harold. Brokering is basically all it is you're like a middleman. Let me give you a real life example. All right, let me give you a real life example. Okay, let's just say that I'm gonna give you a real life example. As a matter of fact, so I had these houses because I think you may be in Atlanta. It's 30331 down in Southwest Atlanta. Okay, I'll call you, Tim. So these houses, I think you're in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, Harold. But anyway, it's 30331. Okay. So those are older neighborhoods. Those houses were probably built 60s, 70s, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, the electrical in those houses is old. So a lot of it hasn't been changed unless they upgraded the electrical. And now we do everything electronically. So one of the challenges we were having is while people were plugging up their devices, the power would go out. So we constantly got to go to the breaker and switch the power back on, and it's very inconvenient. All right. So now, as far as being the middleman and everything, let's just say I wanted to make money off of that situation. If I wanted to make money off of that situation, matter of fact, I had a guy who stayed at one of my houses. He was in school to be an electrician or whatever, as a matter of fact. And I told him, I say, look, I would go find work for you to do on the side so you can make some additional money. So all I would do is I would go to I didn't do it, but hypothetically, I would just go to all the different houses and everything and just say, we're running a special where we'll upgrade your electrical. Of course, you got to pay for the equipment. And then because we're doing a special, whatever, the labor's going to be, it's going to be a lot less. I'm just throwing out numbers. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let's just hypothetically say if you hire a fully licensed bonded electrician, let's say it's $15,000. All right. So I got to undercut them, of course. I'll offer it to you for like $7,000. I don't know. So I'll have a contract directly with that owner for $7,000, and then I'll pay my the person doing the work. I'll probably pay them hourly. And let's just say I don't know. Maybe it's let's just say it's $5,000. I don't care. I'll give them the majority of the money. I've made $2,000. I've done no work except signing my name on a piece of paper. And imagine if I can get, now this is where the money's really made. Just imagine if I can get 5 people like that doing jobs at the same time. So I got 5 people and I'm making $2,000 off each person. I've made $10,000. I haven't done any of that electrical work whatsoever. I don't know nothing about electrical work whatsoever. All I was able to do was I went out, I pitched the idea, and I got somebody to sign their name on the dotted line. I'm just a middleman. Okay, Tommy, that sounds great. But yeah, so that's but I mean, you could do that with anything, whatsoever. As a matter of fact, so a little bit about me. I went to school for engineering. I ended up playing basketball, and then I ended up going into finance. And all financial service companies they're nothing but middlemen if you think about it. People who sell insurance, they're middlemen between people who need insurance and the insurance companies. People who sell investments, stockbrokers. I was a stockbroker at Morgan Stanley, same thing. People who had money, who wanted to invest for retirement, and then you had the firms that needed money. That were a middleman. Real estate agents. There's people who need to buy a house and somebody looking to sell a house. We facilitate, that transaction in business. And then, we're able to make money. Yep. And as a matter of fact, Harold, if you can source like opportunities for some of those contractors, you can make a little bit of money yourself as well. I mean, if you think about it, that's really what wholesalers are doing. What wholesalers do, they're nothing but middlemen. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna be consistent with this. I need to figure out a specific time that I'm going to do this. So I'm gonna think about that over the weekend. But y'all got any questions? Y'all can hit me up at any time. I'm assuming most of y'all on Facebook. But yeah, if y'all got any questions or if there's any topics that you want me to talk about, let me know because I'll be happy to, spread any knowledge I have. So y'all have a wonderful night. Hey, let's kick. Well, you know what? This is my show. I can say what I want to say. Let's kick ass 2026. Look, let's go. I'm ready. I hope all of y'all excited about 2026. I'm telling y'all, this is, man, with AI. Oh, man, don't even get me talking about AI. Do not get me talking about, okay, Anthony, I appreciate you subscribing on YouTube. Hey, don't get me talking about AI. I'm going to show y'all some dope stuff with AI. Like, man, look, forget this, man. We got time. If y'all need to go, y'all can go. But nah, I'm going to show y'all some stuff I have. Let me share my screen. You said creative deal structure content? Oh, I got you. That's all I do. I eat, sleep, breathe, creative deal structure and everything. So yeah, I got you on that. Let me show y'all some stuff. Share screen. All right. So this browser I'm actually using is a ChatGPT browser. It's called ChatGPT Atlas. Matter of fact, let's just so what I like to do is I'll just be thinking about stuff and creating all these little GPTs. Some of them are other people's, others are that I created for myself or whatever. So this right here, this is like a resident scheduler. Matter of fact, let me just open up my GPTs. So this is a transportation one I created. This is a follow-up agent. So a lot of people, they will market for referrals. And one of the weaknesses that they have is they don't have a good follow-up system in place. So that's what this is. It will create like a whole follow-up campaign for them. This is a monthly marketing plan. This is a screener and intake. This is outreach scripts. This is where it does market research, referral hunter. So if you're in a particular area, in a particular niche, and you're looking to generate referrals, this will go out and pull and create your list of referrals. This is something I was doing for somebody in Augusta. This is my luxury co-living resident advisor. This is something I create for operations. This is my own personal GPT. So I'm putting a lot of stuff that I've created content. I'll put it up here. People can ask questions. This is finding money. So basically, these will help you find organizations that may have funding for individuals, to be in, shared living. I don't know what I was probably just working on something with that. See, I just be creating stuff, it's a for rent by owner, vendor management, furnishing setup. I just be creating stuff. Like if I see anything that needs to be done in my business, I'll just go out and create it. It's pretty simple to create. And the most beautiful part about AI is I can use AI to teach me how to do something with AI. So let me see. Okay, I'm gonna put y'all on some game. Check this out. It's not the most efficient yet, all right? So remember, I was showing y'all some stuff from Zillow, all right? Matter of fact, before we do that, let me show you something else. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to do was so y'all saw, if y'all were watching me, y'all saw me going into Zillow looking stuff up, right? So one of the things that I wanted to have happen was I wanted to have an AI agent go to Zillow for me, pull what I'm looking for, and put it into the CRM. And it actually did it. Now, let me give y'all a hack. I just thought of it. I didn't even know you could do it, but it worked. Let's just do it for y'all. Check this out, y'all. Let's have some fun. Where is it? Loom. So I went to Loom, and what I did was I put it in agent mode. Let me show y'all the video. I don't see it. I may have gotten rid of it. Oh. No, this is it. This is it. Yep, this is it. This is it. So let me play this video. This is exactly what it was.
All right, so I want to record a process of how I filter my for sale by owner. So I have for sale in my city, Atlanta, Georgia. Price. I'm gonna put a minimum price of, we can. Okay, so no maximum price. Apply.
All right, anyway, because I'm not going to play this whole video. So basically what I was doing was I wanted to automatically have the AI agent go into Zillow and push all of the data into my CRM, okay? And the way that I went about doing that was I created a Loom video, and then I had the AI watch the video, and then the AI went in and did it. So let's just see. Let's put this on agent mode. So I want you to watch this video and put the data in Zillow in the CRM. And look at the screen real carefully. So that's the AI agent going in. And see what it's doing right now. It's telling you everything that it's doing. So it may take a while or whatever, but anyway, I was just trying to share with y'all that can be a hack. You can record stuff on Loom and then have Loom, whatever it is that you're recording, you can have an AI agent actually do that task for y'all. So those are just some things that you're able to do. I just be thinking of stuff all day long, like I don't know. I just have fun with it. But those are you shoot. Harold, look, we talk about broker. You can broker stuff like that. You don't even have to do the work. Find AI geek, and most of these people, they don't know how to sell. You go out there, secure the contract. Man, all right, this is what I would do. I would find this is what I would do. This is exactly what I would do. Tell y'all what I would do. I would find me a business. All right, this is what I would do. I'll find a business where the owner is older, like maybe 65, 70 years old. All right. Hey, Joyce. Yeah, Loom does have, yes, they do have a free, they do have a free version of Loom. I think you can only record like maybe 25 videos. And I think you can only record for a certain length or whatever. But it's still good though, just to have, you're not going to use it a lot. So yes, Loom you can do for free. But obviously the paid version has a lot more bells and whistles that you can use. But if you're not going to be, if you just want to like record yourself doing different things, or like if you want to create like a, maybe you hire somebody and you want to train them, Loom is a great way to be able to do that. But going back to the AI thing, I know what I'm saying. So I would find me an older, successful business owner that's not utilizing technology. And then I would have my AI expert come in and do an audit on their company and then show them how basically they can save time, which helps them make more money, or maybe save more money, which increases profitability for their business. And then I would charge a percentage of that. So that's how I got you, Tommy. That's how I would go about, doing something like that. If you're willing to go out and just find, and an easy way to be able to find people, there's this resource called, so here's what I would do. This is the cheapest way to get that data. You can go get your library card, go to your public library, because all you need to do is show them your ID. Get your library card, and almost every single public library has an electronic section of stuff or whatever. So from your computer at home, you can pull data from Info USA for free. You can pull a certain amount of data from Info USA for free. And then that's how I go about it. Another way you could do it is drive around town, look and see who's advertising on billboards, and then see if they have a website. Go to the website. If it's like an old, outdated website, they ain't doing no AI and stuff. So, especially if it's a profitable business. Or maybe looking at Yellow Pages, maybe yellowpages.com, and see if they have a website. So that's, I'll do stuff like that. But, yep, Info USA. Yep. All right, let me show you. This is what I would do if I were you, Harold. So let's say you are curious about something like this. I would go right here, and then I would open up. I'll probably do Perplexity. I don't know why it's not going. So I would come in here and I would say, I am looking to broker AI services to older businesses that do not utilize the technology. I was thinking of utilizing Info USA to find these business owners. Give me a step-by-step guide of how I can do this from beginning to end in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so it's called Data Axle now. Look at this. Low-tech sectors like HVAC, plumbing, or landscaping. Here's the wonderful thing about HVAC, plumbing, and landscaping. They make a lot of money, so they can afford to pay it. Follow the step-by-step guide to brokers. Sign up for their build a targeted list, comply with Georgia laws, craft the outreach script, contact, close deals, track schedules. So yeah, so that's how I go about doing something like that. That'd be exactly what I would do. Yep. So anyway, y'all, I'm about to get ready to say goodnight, but I appreciate all of you who hung out with me. And like I said, if y'all have any questions about anything, any topics you want me to discuss, or even if you just want to hit me up, you can hit me up on Messenger. If you're on YouTube, just look up The Pretty House Guy or Idris Talib. That's my name. Oh, right here. On Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I'm everywhere. But nonetheless, y'all have a great night, and let's get ready to kick some ass 2026.